I really don't know how to start this video. Been so long since I've made one. I even had a whole section on ancient Egypt and undiscovered ruins. I was trying to make it seem as if I was gone because I took a trip, but in reality, that didn't happen. I failed, and I didn't know what to do, so I just gave up. So first I wanted to apologize for being away for so long. A lot has happened. I got a full-time job, and honestly I hate it. Being in the adult world sucks. You dream of doing something, anything important. I wanted to be on the forefront of research and development. I wanted to work in an industry that helped advance science. I understand that I didn't have a lot of experience, so my expectations were low. They were a lot lower. I just wanted to get in the industry that I wanted to work for, but no. I work alone, in a lab, just writing down data. You also have no time or money for anything outside of work, but you also just can't stay at home and not work. You have to be inside the corporate machine just to live. My enjoyment of engineering is gone, and I'm only 8 months into a full-time job. My anxiety spiked. My creativity and drive to make anything for this channel dwindled, and then it just free fell into an abyss. I barely wanted to even play games with my friends. So now the only time I paint anything, or when I want to paint anything, is a weekly hobby night with my friends, which I've more enjoyed the company than the actual painting. So I finally came to the conclusion that most adults have. I don't like my job, so I've found something else that gives my life meaning. So I went back to making videos. Here goes nothing, I guess. I don't often make these larger theme boards for my D&D group. It's usually just a small piece, which by small, sometimes it's even too big for my gaming table. I was really excited when I found these cardboard inserts in a package. I've always wanted to try using them as terrain. They always have weird shapes and architecture, and you could pass them off as an alien world or mysterious ruins. However, this is one of the worst projects I've made since starting this channel. It was so frustrating working so long on this project just for it to fail. And for it to fail so badly that I almost quit this project and making videos entirely. And while this might seem like an overreaction to a minor inconvenience, which it is, but it was more a last straw broke the camel's back sort of situation. First I laid out my structures, creating an interesting layout that I could maybe build on later. I glued them down with hot glue, knowing I would add more glue later that would help stick since hot glue isn't known for being permanent. Second, the foam board I used was a standard XPS installation. I tried to cover it in a plaster water paint mix once the buildings and structures were glued down. You know, something to give it a protective base that I'm not just taking hunks out of every time I play with it. However, I forgot that foam is hydrophobic, meaning the water just beads up and falls off. So my plaster layer was patchy at best. The plastic I used for the pillars, I forgot to sand so nothing stuck. These cardboard inserts were incredibly porous. They will absorb any and all liquids you let touch them. So the amount of water used to thin the glue in the paint was too much for the cardboard. It disintegrated. It was nothing more than a paste, barely keeping its shape under a plaster shell. With one brush stroke, it made a new skylight in the temple, and a frustration-induced smash fest later. This is where we are. Now that was an overreaction. So why am I even putting this video out if I think it's such a failure? Well, I wanted to show nobody's perfect. Every time I come on here, or on Instagram, or wherever you see these amazing projects, but not many people show the bad ones. The hot glue strands that never seem to go away, the resin pours that get too hot and end up warping your project, or paint covering your minis. Many other failures. Failure isn't always a bad thing. There's a lot of quotes by famous people of when you fail, you should embrace it and learn from it. However, in that moment, that's pretty hard to do. Your self-esteem and your confidence are at an all-time low. It gets so low you want to give up. Sometimes you just want to give up on your project and hobby altogether. And you're not alone in it. I felt this way. I felt this way all through this project. If I'm honest, I didn't know if I'd keep making videos, let alone if I'd use this board at all. The one thing that always bothers me about failing is convincing myself that even if I failed, it doesn't mean that I did anything wrong. I tried my best. Sometimes things fail even if you try your best. Projects fail, relationships fail, exams at school fail, and people fail. A lot of the times it's nothing you control. Budgets get cut, people age and mature out of friendships. Your learning style isn't the same as the teacher's teaching style. It's really easy to give up when you fail, and it's really hard to keep going, but I want to keep going. So my goal for next year is I want to put out at least one full-length video a month, and maybe some shorts if I have time. Hopefully I can do that. I love this hobby, and it's kind of my only creative outlet right now, and it's the only thing really bringing me joy, besides hanging out with my friends, my family, and my dog. So let me know if you've had a project fail, if you think this is a failure, if you think this is pretty good. I don't even know if I'm going to keep it or if I'm just going to section it up and make it into individual terrain and not just a whole board. So until next time, have a good day and happy crafting. Goodbye.